Hi dear friends, this is Mitro, your English tutor. In this lesson I want to show you just practice example of how to write your 2 essays at the task called interactive writing. Why is it called interactive? Because while you're writing the first essay, the first prompt, the system is analyzing, AI is analyzing your success, and accordingly it produces the follow-up question. So on this resource, marvelous resource, don't ask me please what's the resource because I use it only on my private lessons. So in this resource they provide you with the follow-up question at once, but in real Duolingo, of course, you will not see this thing. You will see the thing once you finish writing this thing. So the second question will be different, but to provide such feature on another resource, not a real Duolingo, is basically maybe impossible. So let's be satisfied with what we have. A couple of hints. You understand that this one you write within 5 minutes, the follow-up you write within 3 minutes. So are there any logical differences between writing these two guys? I think no. You know, the main principle, the main approach is the same. I try to produce more and try to produce my better written language. If I can, if I have an opportunity, I try to provide 2, 3 or even more paragraphs. You know, I like those paragraphs. Duolingo never insists on paragraphs, but I think it's a good tone. You separate your thoughts, it makes it more cohesive, and the cohesion is better, everything. So try to provide to separate, even if we judge primitively the answers to these separate questions, we separate with paragraphs. For example, do you think it is important for people to follow the customs of the new country they move to instead of the customs of their home country? So, do you think it is important? Do you, yeah, or do you know, yeah? So my first paragraph will be about this. If I think like this, or if I think like that, okay? Explain why not, using specific reasons. So I will try to provide 2 reasons, maybe 3, but I don't think I will have enough time to provide 3 because I will comment on this and I will not produce too many words, I'm sorry. So maybe, I don't know, 100. If I write it at real Duolingo, I will definitely produce 130, 150, something like that. But because we are communicating right now, I cannot do this. So you see, my first paragraph will be direct answer to this question. My second and third paragraphs will be providing reasons, and that's it. Nothing special, nothing. You know, everything genius is simple, as they say. So I think it may be applied to this one as well. The same principles may be applied here. Okay, let's first write this one and then we proceed to this one. Remember, here we have 5 minutes, here we have 3 minutes. I will not produce my best language here because I cannot focus now. I speak to you. So on the other hand, you know, when I read essays by my students, you understand that the language there is not ideal either, and you know, if they write like I do, you know, I think they would have 130, 140 for their Duolingo, if not more. So I honestly tell you, I haven't thought about this so far. I don't know what I will write now, but I will write something because we don't care about the question, we care about, you know, our language. And please remember, there are no questions in the world to which you cannot give answers. Another problem, another aspect is that whether your answer is very appropriate, yes, and genuine or not. So it's none, you know, it's only your business, nobody else's business. So you're free to write, even if you create a little bit, cheat a little bit, lie, invent. It's your business. Nobody can punish you for this, especially given that you will be assessed by an AI, not by a human. Sometimes they say humans look into your creation, probably if AI gives them some information that it must be done so, but not every time. Okay, so do you think, I will now try to reset the timer for 5 minutes if I can. Do you think it is important for people to follow the customs of the new country they move to? So is it important or not important? You see, I'm reading it for several times. When you write a Duolingo, you have 20 seconds, extra seconds to understand, so please don't hurry, understand. A lot of guys, they think they understand, they start writing, being very happy, and then they omit part of those questions which decreases their scores greatly. So don't lose your precious points just for nothing. Try to understand, try to spin it in your mind, this question here, there, in this fashion, that fashion. Like, am I understanding everything 100%? Or just I think that I understand, and I'm happy that I understand the words. Words are not the context. Okay. So, for example, I will write that it's important, you see? Okay, if I move somewhere, it's a good idea to learn the customs of the new country. You understand it? You can write that it's not important, nobody cares, but please provide the reasons. Because if you write just, it's not important, and then you change your mind within this, and then you start providing reasons that it is important, you will lose points because it is an idiocy. It's not congruent, it's not logical, so formal logic forbids you doing that. So, okay, let's reset the time. I will try now. Oh, yeah, okay. So, you remember, yeah, we try to paraphrase what we can, paraphrase what I can. Yeah, I am deeply convinced. So I'm looking here, though, if I make some spelling mistakes, please don't judge me very severely, because I'm convinced that conceiving a new countries, oh my god, countries, customs and traditions is paramount in my successful adaptation, for example, adaptation there, for example. Okay, I'm tired of this. So I have given my view. Yes, the system understands my answer. Yes, I understand. I have given the reader an opportunity to understand. So now, for example, I want to provide a connective sentence like at SAT or TOEFL. So now I'm going to provide, yeah, it's a cliche, but I want, why not? I'm going to provide a couple of arguments to support okay, my stance. Okay, so the first argument, my first reason, you see, I'm not repeating any word basically from here. You see, it's very important, very. So, firstly, one doesn't want. Oh my God, one doesn't want to stick out. I remember the idiom, like a sore thumb in the community. So this concept in itself answers the question of why we would like to learn. Okay, now I repeat this learn, but it's not a big deal really. And why would like to learn a new locality or a new area. Okay, let's say area. A new area's culture. Okay, let it be culture. Don't stick for so long, in one thought. Okay, I have provided the first reason. Okay, I proceed. Okay, what is more? I love, for example, I speak about myself, but okay, a little bit further. I love integrating harmoniously into the culture we have already, into the reality of my okay, we have new. Okay, let it be let it repeat, of my new surroundings. I fancy being, so maybe now I begin reproducing myself, but I don't care. I fancy being a natural constituent. I try to remember some interesting word. I fancy being a natural constituent to the overall gestalt. Okay, the picture. Okay. Now I look at the time. I have 45 seconds. Like, okay, I'm trying to. For instance, all right. Recently, and now I simplify my language because I will not have enough time. Recently, I have visited, for example, Brazil. So beforehand, I had studied its culture thoroughly. Okay, 105 words. Okay, let it be. I'm sorry, yes, for this coughing. So you see, we have something. Yes, we have. Now the system will tell me that time is up. Yes. You know, on this resource, I have to click submit and so on for the system to evaluate my success. But let's have a look at this. Probably I tell you somewhere maybe a spelling mistake because I wasn't so attentive. So I have produced 105 words, as I have told you. If I was focused on this, I would produce maybe 150 or something like that. My reasoning would be much more powerful. But remember, if you are following my process, if I feel that I begin mentally stuck in one thread of thought, so like I begin writing gibberish, one and the same, and again, it's okay, it's better than nothing. Even with this gibberish, you can get rigmarole, you can get 120 for sure. But I would like to cut this thread and start a new thread. When to do like this or when to act like that, you decide intuitively, and of course you realize that the more you practice, the more convenient, the more comfortable you feel while writing this. The main problem or aspect of Duolingo is this time limitation. If you were given 1 hour for this beauty, you know, you would smoke a cigar, go to sleep, yes, and drink some gin, and then decide what to write. You would meditate, speculate, and contemplate, having connected to the universal source of knowledge. But being paralyzed because of this 5 minutes, we often produce, let's say, 30% of our writing potential. So our task is to, to make you disclose, not maybe like reveal not 30, but at least 70% of your writing potential, despite these limitations. Okay, my friends, remember please, Duolingo, I'm sure, is a more democratic test in writing this because you're limited of time. So whether you provide 3 paragraphs, or you provide 2 paragraphs, or even 1 paragraph, or no paragraphs at all, anyway you can have 120, 130 for your production. It's not a big problem. Oh, by the way, from the 1st of July we have sub-scores, individual sub-scores for writing, so you will see perfectly your writing sub-score, which is very magnificent. Okay, I will now just reset here something and come back to you in 1 second, and we will write the follow-up. You remember, yeah, because I have initiated this video primarily for the sake of the follow-up, because a lot of guys, they struggle with this one. They get tired already here, so when they get this question, which is usually more intricate than this one, they are stunned and they sit and look. Yes, look at something like an animal looking at something new, you know, those idioms in various languages, and they cannot produce anything serious. Okay, my friends, I hope that you hear me. So I have reset something, and now we have an opportunity to write here. But the timer here is like already. So let's first analyze, and then we will set the timer for 3 minutes. Not a big deal. Yes. Okay. You see, I have 3 minutes, but this question, the time starts ticking at once. So I have to understand this very, very fast. But I cannot skip it because I don't know your level of the language, so let's please read together and try to understand. Can you think of a situation where someone had to choose between following their native customs or adapting to new ones in a foreign country? Which choice did they make, and what were the consequences? I hope you understand this. Here, this question differs from this, because you have to provide a situation, so an instance, a case, a situation, not already an abstract philosophical reasoning, where someone You can speak about yourself, you can speak about your friend, anybody, mother, father, brother. Somewhere in a new country there was a situation whether he had to follow his customs or new customs. So your mind is processing this. If you cannot recollect any actual situation, of course, I will create because I haven't been in such a situation. So, but I cannot write here, sorry dear Duolingo, I cannot produce such situation, so please don't bother me with your stupid, childish, naive questions. Yeah, we will write something decent, by the way. Yeah. Which choice did they make and what were it going? My mind, while reading this, even not knowing the situation yet, it has to. I answer already the last. Which choice did they make? I favored my old customs or new customs. Yeah. So you understand, if you stick to your customs in some new locality, you may have some problems. So if you decide to follow new customs, you will be okay. You will sacrifice your identity maybe, but so I will write about that. My friend, for example, or I, it doesn't matter, 2 months ago traveled to, I don't know, to some country of Africa, for example, some country of Latin America or Europe, where they have some funny traditions about weddings. For example, I was visiting a wedding and I saw some stupid things which they were doing there, but firstly I had an impulse to cry out like, people, what are you doing? You know, are you saying? Well, but then I realized, like, if I do this, I will have problems, I will ruin the ceremony and so on. So I decided to follow a new custom, and I did all those rituals. I followed the rituals of the new location, you see? And yes, so you understand, we have less than 3 minutes to write this. You will spend, let's say, 10 seconds on this. If you have a very fast intellect, powerful intellect, and very high level of language, you will spend 5 seconds on this. So you will have 10, why is it 10? You will have 2 minutes and 50 seconds for writing. Again, you have to decide how many paragraphs. It's better to decide it once. You can decide along the way, but 1, 2 or 3. It's a description of a situation. So if you come up with 1 paragraph, it's okay, not a big problem. But maybe let's here provide 1, because it's a situation, you see. I describe, why should I decide? If I wanna have a follow-up philosophical conclusion here, then maybe yes, I can separate it into a second paragraph. But I don't think that you will have enough time to speculate here broadly about those concepts. You will be happy if you answer the question at all. Yeah. Okay, so I will try now to reset the timer. If it doesn't work, probably I will have to write it even in Microsoft Word document because okay, let's try. Probably it immerses upon us. No. No. We will write this one. We will write it here in 3 minutes. Okay, so when 2 minutes are left, I must be done. Okay, so I'm starting. You see, 2 months ago, as I told you, I was visiting with my sister in for example, Latin American country, where they were holding a wedding ceremony. Honestly, I have never. You see, I'm showing this present perfect, so remember please about these verb forms. They are welcome and they will increase your score, of course, rather than you use only past simple or present simple. Honestly, I have never witnessed such queer rituals with people doing unfathomable. You see, I mean, unfathomable means like unbelievable, unfathomable things. All my previous experience and cultural background were protesting. Still, I decided, and here remember them, to keep a low profile and to follow the local custom, thus fitting. You see, I try to I continue to spin these grammatical forms. Thus fitting, okay, harmoniously. We have already thus fitting perfectly. Wait, what's that? Perfectly into the procedure. Later, we have a little time. I realized that I had done so right. Okay, let it be, my friends, let it be. Let's not hurry. So I have written almost for 3 minutes. So you see one paragraph. Probably somewhere there is a spelling mistake. You can tell me in the comments, because I don't want to. Remember, please, that it's so obvious, but so overlooked at the same time by those struggling candidates that of the language test. Nobody is interested in your outlook, deep, those visions, opinions, and nothing. It's nobody, neither graders nor the AI, you understand, let alone the AI. They are interested in the beauty of your English, spoken and written. Thus, please provide them with your beautiful language. Don't think really about some situations, I mean, that you cannot remember something real, something actual, yeah? For example, you haven't traveled abroad, nor your friends had, yes, so, and you begin to feel fear. Oh my God, what shall I write about? I don't know. You see, I have provided an example to you. Unless, as long as you don't write something like, I flew to Mars on my self-made vehicle with my friend. Even, I feel that the AI would give you an okay score, like a normal score, even if you flew to Mars or Venus, because nobody cares. Yes. However, it's risky, because if an actual person, an actual grader looks at this, he will lower your score, because, why do you write nonsense? In all other cases, you will get a decent score. Think about the language, think about verbal forms, predicates, those subjects and so, predicate subjects and so on. Don't think about the truth. Nobody needs your truth. I nag and cajole my students every year and every day, and when we have lessons about this, they partially accept it, but of course, to embrace it fully, you need to be maybe really a tutor, because when you see it thousands of times, of course you will understand that it makes sense to succumb to this like reality. The tests of English are not the tests of your truth or your psychological depth. It's the test of your English. So show them your English, the maximum, 100%, even maybe 120%. It's your performance, like sport performance at the Olympic Games. Do whatever you have to do to get your score, 110, 120, 100, doesn't matter. Okay, and there are no questions. Remember, I tell you, there are no questions to which you cannot provide an answer. The only limitation maybe is such a question where you don't understand anything, yes? On the other hand, it's unlikely, because the system analyzes your successes during the whole test, so it's not very likely that you will have some awful questions. Though I saw such cases also, some students remembered the questions. Also they provide me with their interviews, which is allowed in Duolingo. In your account you can have a look at your real essay and so on. So they show me those real questions, and really sometimes, I don't understand why, for the student who aims at 100 and who is around this 100, why they give such an intricate, sophisticated, long, intimidating question. I feel that this is probably because the system is not perfect. You see, the AI is not perfect because it's been created by humans, and what is created by humans is not perfect, which is very nice. Okay, my friends, if you need assistance in preparation to Duolingo, IELTS, or TOEFL, please address me. I cost money as a tutor, but I provide you with the results. If you wanna write something like this, you understand that I can teach you how to do that. not maybe as I do 100%, but at least if you write 80% like this, you will get over 100 only for writing, I tell you. So okay, my friends, see you in our next lessons.